So you're a city dweller and you've got lots of expenses to worry about. You've got your car, your rent, and your hentai subscription, but you've also got to make it to work, and let's be honest, walking is for suckers. So oftentimes you've had to turn to something like this, a 250cc motorcycle that sips fuel and can get you to wherever you need to go. But the motorcycle landscape is changing lately. We've got e-bikes coming to the market and electric bikes too. So today we're taking a look at this Kalk and what, you might ask? Well, we can't say it on YouTube, so let's see what this thing's all about. This is one of the weirdest bikes we've had in all of the Yami Noob videos, I would say.
Is it actually a bike?
Well, it's a bike. It's got two wheels. Is it a motorcycle? Kinda. I mean, it's more motorcycle than bicycle, I would say.
That is fair. I mean, we do have a nice twist throttle right here. We've got throttle, you know, rear brake, front brake.
Brake is on the right side instead of the left like it is on a bicycle.
Yeah.
It's got a frame and a swing arm, so let's call it a motorcycle, shall we?
And we did actually rent it from a motorcycle rental service.
Exactly, yeah. We got it off of Twisted Road. Hit the link down below and check out any motorcycles that might be available in your area to rent out. Maybe they got a cool, weird thing like this that you can go and test and not necessarily buy, because the first thing I gotta say about this thing before we get into it, what's the price tag on this?
$14,000.
$14,000. What is that? 1.4 million cents, I think, if my math is right. No, it's not right. Whatever. I can't do the quick math right there. Too many zeros. But yeah, 14 grand for what is basically a dumb little city bop around bike.
Yeah.
That's MT10 money, that's used 2.0 money, that's
Turbo
R1
Busa money.
That's Turbo Busa money right there. Let me tell you, although this thing claims 186 foot-pounds of torque, my Turbo Busa feels like it has a little more torque than this.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Where do you think they got that figure from?
Okay, so the reason why you get super crazy high torque figures on these electric motors is because they run at stupid low RPM.
Yeah.
So they literally, they don't idle. Like we have our bikes idle at 15,000 or 1,500 more or less, basically. This literally idles at 0. It doesn't spin. And it makes a lot more torque right off the ground. So they use math, they don't actually put it on a dyno.
Yeah.
Because the math number at 186 sounds way better than the probably like, I don't know, 40 that it feels like it's really making.
We're gonna get this out on the road and see what it actually feels like and compares to, because this is quite a peculiar bike, and we'll let you guys know what the torque actually feels like. What other features have we got on this motorcycle? You've got it on your phone,
so
there's way too many to remember.
There's so much going on with this motorcycle, or Kalk thingamajig. So the motor is a 10 kilowatt motor, which is a lot smaller than something that you might see in like a Zero SRF that we had a few months ago.
I will say all the cyclists out there are very jealous of that kind of watt output. That's so much, guys. That's a lot of watts.
A lot of watts. It'll go 0 to 100% charge in 2.5 hours, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But here's the problem. On the fast speed mode, the fun mode, you only get an hour's worth of charge, and we actually depleted 1 out of 5 bars.
Just making it here.
Which is like a half mile from where we picked it up. It's not great.
Yeah.
The total runtime, if you're in the normal road mode, is like an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is not that much better. And then you have the I have to make it home mode, which is capped at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that'll get you around 4 hours worth of runtime, probably a little bit less with a rider and gear on.
Yep.
Because this does actually hit a top speed of 56, 58 miles an hour, which means you should be wearing motorcycle gear.
I think you should definitely be wearing proper gear on this thing. Although it looks like it has fat bicycle tires on it, it is a bop around bike. 58 miles an hour is quite speedy. That's a lot of road rash if you come off. You should definitely be wearing some jacket or slide resistant stuff.
Speaking of the tires, we actually have a really odd setup on here. They're both 19-inch rims with really weird, like, fat bike bicycle tires on here.
So this is a tube-type tire on this. You guys can see it's got a spoked rim and all that, but it's a 19-inch, and it just says 3 by 19. We think that means 3 inches wide. I guess.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
It doesn't have the 3 numbers as you normally would see on a motorcycle tire, so.
Which is part of the reason why I'm having a hard time thinking motorcycle when I look at it, even though it's got the swing arm and the suspension.
Yeah.
Speaking of suspension, Öhlins front and rear.
Yeah, but they're a weird set of Öhlins. These are, from what we can tell after goofing around with this thing for a little bit, only rebound adjustable in the front, and you've got 2 clickers out back that we think just sets a bit of preload and a little bit of rebound out back too. We were goofing around with it. We noticed that as you crank this up and crank it back, all it's changing is the speed with which the forks come back at you. So kind of like the RS660 in that way. I'm not sure why Öhlins makes this fork. Maybe it's like a mountain bike fork. I don't know.
And on the wheels, we've got to talk about the brakes here.
Yes.
The brakes feel very strange.
Well, it's such an itty-bitty little caliper.
It's so small, like
Yeah.
literally you can hold it in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
It's got a steel braided line to a caliper that kind of works, and then the rear caliper is so bitey, it's literally a light switch. It's
Yeah.
either nothing or the rear tire's locking.
That reminds me a lot of like an actual enduro motorcycle or a dirt bike before you've adjusted the throw on the rear brakes. My KTM 250 used to do that, where you tap on the rear and it just go and just lock up immediately.
Yeah.
So kind of similar in that. And with that, you kind of look at this bike and my mind says, well, this is kind of off-roady, right? Because it
Yeah.
weighs 180 pounds.
Yeah, it's really lightweight. I actually was able to pick this thing up
Yeah.
in my arms a little earlier when we were goofing around with it.
Yeah.
But it does have some weird places that it cuts corners that we were noticing.
Yeah, so you got
That's not good.
That seat and this feeling of the seat here. As you can hear this, it's
just a plank.
It's just a plank. The dash is atrocious.
Yeah,
For
it's
14 grand.
It's finally we found one that's worse than my SMCR, which makes me feel good. I also don't understand why there's a check engine light on here.
Gotta check the one moving part.
Yeah, and just generally, it feels kind of weird. I mean, the frame looks cool. It's got this future aesthetic going on.
Very futuristic.
But I don't know. It's just, I look at it and I'm like, okay, bicycle. Why did you spend 14 grand? But
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see how it rides, right?
That's true. Let's get it out on the road and see how it does against a normal bop around bike. All right, Spite. We're off, mobbing the mean streets of Austin, Texas, trying to get a feel for the cock and testicles.
Yep.
What are you feeling having just jumped aboard that bad boy?
Okay, so it handles so weird. But before that, you sit on it and you're like, where are the foot pegs?
Yeah.
Because if you sit in the natural spot, your feet are actually behind your butt. So you have to
Yeah.
like sit further back to be in a normal motorcycle spot, but that just feels kind of wrong on it.
Get a look at you.
Like this is where I
Yeah,
want to sit on it.
You want to sit there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like proper like motocross stuff. You want to be like.
But if I sit here, it's like I can feel it squashing under my weight.
Yeah, I mean
And then
it
I
is.
feel, you know, this feels like I'm gonna just pop a wheelie no matter what. Which, by the
Yeah.
way, easiest bike to wheelie in the world. Whee!
Easy peasy to wheelie it, right? The thing I really don't like about that bike, and I haven't ridden it yet, I gotta say those grips are. Oh, why did they go with like the old Harley shovel head, like white? Like what are those, man?
I don't know if the company we rented this from, because it's the local custom shop here in Austin who
That's
rents
true.
this guy out. They're a little hipster styling.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they put these on here or if Cake put them on here, but they don't feel good.
Yeah.
I really wish I just had grips like what you've got on the WR, because that kind of speaks to the ethos, I feel like.
I gotta say too, it's hilarious looking at your itty bitty baby front caliper that literally looks like it was lifted off a road bike.
Yeah. Go, Cake.
Are you struggling?
I've literally topped out.
Did I just super skywalk you on a WR? Damn.
First time for everything.
I thought you had 186 foot-pounds of torque, man. What happened?
I'm in road mode 2 so that I don't run out of batteries halfway through this vlog. Oh God, no, a hill.
Now, that thing is an honest-to-God motorcycle, as much as we don't want to admit it, because it doesn't have pedals. You will have to push that thing down the road if it runs out of juice, so be careful.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I don't understand. Like, why would you get this over something like a e-bicycle? Because at least when that runs out, you can be the hamster that powers it, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, whatever future space hamsters are powering this one. You're literally screwed if you run out of batteries. You have to, like, pull over at a coffee shop and, you know.
Yeah, you should be on one of those.
Yeah, at least then I can, you know, split lanes and no shirt and, you know.
And I bet you, too, that thing doesn't cost 14 grand.
Oh, my God.
I can't get over that.
For the price tag, this is the worst riding experience I've ever had. Just bar none.
Absolutely. I finally found a bike that beats a Harley Davidson for worst value. I mean, really, 14 grand. The thing does 58 miles top speed, and I rode around a teensy bit, but I'm going to ride a little bit more. It feels so bad to ride.
But I guess, okay, so here's the point of this motorcycle, right? You're not supposed to go out and, like, have fun with it. It's supposed to be utilitarian.
Come on! It's a motor. Don't tell me that. But, hey, the point of this bike is that you don't have fun with it. Come on, man.
It's literally just a utilitarian thing to get you from point A to point B.
It's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
A world without gasoline. So,
sure.
In that sense, I guess it kind of works, you know? Let me pop it in go fast mode. There we go. All right, mode 3. Whee! Yep, that was still full throttle.
I really do want to race you.
Well, we're at a red light here.
That's what I was just about to say.
And we're going downhill, so we're both going to have some advantage going into this one.
Got advantage going, yeah. Don't loop that thing, man. You got to be careful. He has got a lot of 186 foot-pounds of torque.
That is more than the Rocket 3 claims.
Yeah, it feels way torquier than a Rocket 3, bro, for sure. Is that the number from the website? Because that is just, that's, come on, man. Even the Zero claimed a lower figure than that. Like, what is that?
144 was the SRF.
Yeah, come on, man.
And that one felt like, full throttle, go, no!
Yeah, no, it's not very quick, is it?
I mean, it does the thing that electric bikes do, which I can't stand, where it modulates your throttle all the way up to speed. It kind of feels like the Fireblade at the drag strip, where you know it has more to give you, but it just says, no, you can't handle it, you know, stupid monkey brain. You gotta just let me do the thinking for you.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to point out about that bike, too, is I think the seat might be the most uncomfortable seat I've ever seen or sat on or been near on a motorcycle. What do you think?
My taint agrees. I've been on this for, what, like 5 minutes now, and I can really feel it. You know, it's lifting and separating in all the wrong ways.
Yeah, it's literally just like a plank of plastic, and you would think that at $14,000 reduce, you would get at least some cushioning, but that would mess up the aesthetic of the bike, right? So we can't have that.
Yeah, the one nice thing I can say about this thing right now is going over the bumps on this road, because this is North Lamar, and it's a really bumpy, kind of crappy road.
Let's turn right here, because there's a big-ass hill. I want to see how that bike does.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Dude, no. All right, here we go. I'm full throttle. Still full throttle. Still full throttle.
Do you feel it slowing down at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty beefy little hill right there. But I imagine the clientele for that bike would probably live somewhere like San Francisco, and it's even more hilly than here in Austin.
Yeah,
so
but
you got to manage hills if you're on two wheels, man.
Yeah, they've got like charging infrastructure and stuff there. You know, here you have to just like hope that you got to carry your cable around and hope that the coffee shop has an extra outlet for you.
No, you got to hope that there's a very nice Tesla bro that's willing to lend some battery to you, which here in Austin we got tons of them. So the other thing I wanted to point out about that bike is before I saw it next to another motorcycle, I kind of thought it was a full-sized bike, it's kind of not really a full-sized motorcycle, right? Like it's kind of like somewhere between a Grom and a 300. It's kind of like in a weird spot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say it, because of the like size and weight of the tires, it handles like a Grom, where it's like really twitchy. The Grom's wheels make that bike really twitchy to handle, and this thing feels exactly the same. You know, you think that those Öhlins forks might do something to save it, but maybe they are, and it's just kind of that bad. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's a very sketchy thing to throw into a corner.
So much so that we were noticing the tires still had the little nipples on the side, so it doesn't seem like anyone's really leaning that thing over very much.
Nope. Well, I got to use the regenerative braking going downhill so that I can make it back to the back to our filming location.
Well, I got to ride it too, remember?
Oh yeah. Well, we're down to 3 bars out of 5.
Heck yeah, lasting forever.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down into wimpy mode 1 so that I can rebuild some oh god, look at that hill. That's gonna be really fun to go up in mode 1.
We can turn right on San Jacinto, and you know, because downtown Austin is basically dual sport land with the road conditions here, so we can test the suspension.
Yeah, sure.
Just bopping around the city, man, doing what we do.
Man, the rear brake on this thing is so touchy.
It's you lock that thing up in no time. It's crazy. You tap it, you're locked. It's insane.
By the way, I'm in mode 1. This is me full throttle right now.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm topped out. It has nothing more to give me in mode 1.
I think that's my biggest problem with electric bikes is you get such a very level of performance out of them, which kind of sucks. Like this WR, all the way until the last drop of gas, is going to give me everything it can give me. You know, it's not going to limit the throttle. I can't change the mode on it. The mode is just my right hand. I just got to adjust it, you know?
Yep. All right. That was just me like touching the brake.
Yeah, you just tap it and it just locks. This also reminds me of seeing this bike lane up here. I think one of the cool things about that bike, unlike something like this, is you could totally put that in the bike lane. Nobody would bat an eye. It doesn't make any sound. It looks kind of like a bicycle. Literally nobody would give a shit about you being in the bike lane. So if you wanted to chop up traffic semi-legally, you could do it that way. You and I both take our dual sports on the bike lane here in Austin all the damn time. Because we're assholes, but
the rules don't apply on a supermoto, baby.
You want to try drag racing again?
Yeah, I'm in mode 1, baby. I'm going to be able to keep up with you this time. I can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get that, like, Fred Flintstone thing where I have to, like, push it to get it started.
Because this is very important when you're bopping around on your city bike to race somebody else, you know? Stoplight to stoplight. It's super important. All right, gotta make sure the coast is clear before we yeet ourselves.
All right, let's do it, baby. I don't have to worry about a clutch. Go! God damn it!
Wow!
I literally had to push it to get it started.
Oh man!
Go, Cake! Oh no, a hill! Oh, 44, 44, 43, 43. Oh, I didn't get down to 42 kilometers an hour.
Uh-oh. Is that your speed or your range that's left?
That was my speed. I watched it go
you probably cooked like 10% of your battery just doing that pull.
Yeah, probably. I mean, okay, I understand where this is useful. I totally do, you know? If you live in an apartment, you know, downtown apartment here, you don't have a parking garage space, but you need to get like 4 or 5 miles to your office.
Buy a bicycle.
Yeah, I mean, but then you
buy a $500 bicycle off Craigslist.
But then you can't pedal in your suit and stuff because you're gonna get all sweaty, and then you got your boardroom meetings.
That's true. Okay, get a scooter.
Yeah.
Well, you can't park your scooter inside your place.
No, you
That's a little hard.
You can put this in your apartment.
Yes, and nobody would really think anything of it, and it's not going to smell like gas and oil.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's the case for it. Okay, let's be generous to it. But man, it's It's 14 grand, you know? Maybe you're just like a super high-powered kind of executive guy, but you also want to just ride every day to work. I don't know. Like, who is the audience, right?
Early adopters?
Early adopters, yeah. People who want to be more insufferable than Energica owners.
Oh boy, I went downhill. I was able to go fast.
Here, I'll pull off right here.
Oh, good God, this is so slow. Let's try mode 2 and see what happens. Man, you remember when we were talking about the Zero giving us range anxiety issues?
Dude, I bet on that thing you're just like, when's it gonna happen?
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna pull here to the right, and then we'll just swap really quick.
All right.
Yeah, so in order for you to ride this bike, you gotta keep your safety on. It's not enough to have a key, right?
Gotta press and hold.
Oh my God. Okay.
Now push the third button here to get it up to mode 3.
Ooh, it's like a vibrator. It does something.
It also makes a noise. It makes noise and vibrates for you.
So this is braking regenerative max, right?
Yep.
And then, well, I want mode 1. Is that best? Or is 3 best?
Mode 1 is slow mode. That's like, I need to make it home mode.
I'll put it in 2 for now.
All right.
So I've ridden enough like scooters and e-bikes now to not be as freaked out about no clutch. That's pretty normal to me. But yeah, I think I can understand why this has a range of an hour, because the seat is literally a piece of plywood, man.
It looks
why does this feel a little sketch? Like this kind of does feel a little sketchy, you know?
It just feels wrong to be like in a lane of traffic.
Well,
you know?
no, not to me. I cycle a lot. I'm no like whatever, but I could see how as a motorcyclist you'd feel a little odd on this thing. But I also feel like this isn't really designed for the motorcycle enthusiast, you know?
No.
It's not
But, I
really
mean,
for us, right?
But who else other than an enthusiast is going to get ready to drop 14 grand on a toy?
I don't know. Someone with more money than sense. Maybe a quirky early adopter. Oh, f***ing bye, dude. Jeez. I was full gas.
That wasn't even trying.
I feel like people who don't have very good riding sense will just high side this thing touching the rear brake.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is just... If you come off the throttle, it's so easy to lock up, it's ridiculous. If you're on the throttle, it seems like there's... I guess because the torque is going to the wheel, it doesn't lock it up as much. It's peculiar. It doesn't feel like a traditional motorcycle, to the surprise of no one.
It helps if I put it... I'm so used to riding the cake cock and around that I'm not actually shifting down to the first gear.
You forgot your gears, man.
I forgot how to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, I gotta say, as a person who also is very into bicycles, yeah, this feels a lot like a fat tire, you know, snow bike, or like a really heavy weird mountain bike or something.
Have you felt it side to side?
Not yet. I've just been up and down most of the time here, but yeah, side to side, it's probably really peculiar. Because I think a lot of motorcycles will watch this and be like, oh, 180 pounds, that's so light, but for an e-bike, that's heavy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's massive. Like e-bikes, I think, are like 50 pounds or 60 pounds tops.
I guess one downside to the motorcycle that I'm feeling, it is a hot place to sit in traffic. But then I can get moving, you know, and just like go.
Yeah, you can get moving and do what you need to do.
It's so much lighter than the DRZ. It's so easy to skid the rear out.
Oh yeah, that bike's a ton of fun. And the trails and stuff, you just put it anywhere you want. It's so easy to ride. It's hilarious. But yeah, I think if you don't have much hangups about a gas engine, like a little 250 dual sport, all day, any day over this thing.
Yeah, and like, okay, you want a city bopper. You want something that's easy to get around. Maybe you want to go like get groceries on it. You can't put a milk crate on this. Just get a scooter.
Yeah, you should just get a scooter. Scooters are so ridiculously fuel efficient too. And once they run out of gas, just go fill them up and you can keep going.
Yeah.
Versus this thing, you need to wait, what is it, 2 hours to charge?
2.5 hours, 0 to full.
For it being Öhlins, I'm really not impressed with the suspension. I gotta be honest, it feels cheap and spongy and bad, and we've messed with it and played with it and adjusted quite a bit too.
Trying to figure out how to make it not suck.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks.
Oh my god. Look at how much travel that thing has. That's ridiculous.
Well, I kind of do wonder how much actual travel it has versus like what I can make it travel as, you know? I feel like I could just jump it.
I mean, the front wheel's coming off the ground.
Whoa, look out. Look at this guy.
He going quick on his little electro skateboard.
Oh, that regen braking is so weird. It's like you almost don't even have to touch the front brakes.
And here's a problem with it that I'm noticing. It doesn't light up the rear brake or the light when you're using the regen.
Yeah, that's kind of bad. Because I'll show you here. If I get on the gas and then if I roll off,
it literally starts just braking like it's got.
Yeah, like I'm actually
on.
slowing down quite a bit there. Dude, we're totally going to run out of battery on this thing.
Yep.
Ooh, electric drive. Look at that. I have to go down. I seriously bet I could get on the pedestrian bridge over here and just take it back to where we were, and no one would care.
I bet you could, and no one would care.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'll meet you back up there.
See if anyone report in, please.
See if anyone yells at me.
How the hell
so far, so good. No one seems upset.
Oh, this part it kind of sucks because I'm ostensibly bound by the rules of the road, even though normally I wouldn't ride like it. I actually have to, like, you know, take the long way back, whereas Yam was able to just, you know, go around the bridge, and, you know, I'm stuck in traffic. I gotta obey red lights and stuff, and we all know that when you get on those Lime scooters right there, you know, rules don't matter. Who cares? You know, run out in front of a red light, get plowed by a car. But I'm just stuck here.
Yeah, get on the gas.
Oh my god. All right. No, this is not happening. Ah, shit. Green light. There we go. Like, okay, I can't even in good conscience mob over there on the dual sport.
The secret ingredient is crime. As long as you break the rules, it's a ton of fun. I took it on the pedestrian bridge and no one gave a All right, folks, normally this is where I'd say wrapping the day up with the cake, but really we only rode it about 40 or 50 minutes because the battery would not last much more than that, I would say, so we have to be pretty careful with it. But we're answering the question, is this thing a good motorcycle? Does it make sense as a city bop around bike? What's this thing all about? Spike, give us your thoughts.
So, as a motorcycle, I think that this is a miserable way to spend $14,000.
I agree.
It's really not a good motorcycle. But, that's being said, when we were just playing around with it here on the sidewalk, just popping little wheelies, it was really fun. You could actually enjoy just doing dumb stuff, doing hood rat stuff with your friends on it.
Yep.
But again, $14,000.
You can't get away from the price tag. Yeah, I think that's my main takeaway for this bike is 14 grand is a lot of money, man. That buys you basically any motorcycle you really want within the realms of what we consider normal bikes. And this thing provides a very different experience than something like an MT-10, which is about the same amount of money. Where I think this thing excels, much like Spite said, I do think it's a very poor motorcycle, but where I think it excels is as this kind of stealth city, like get around town type of thing. I was able to take this thing on the pedestrian bridge. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody said anything.
Yeah, and I was bound by the rules of the road, ostensibly, on the WR. I may not ride like it normally, but, you know, I had to find a secluded spot to cut through a park so that nobody would, like, run up to me all angry and, you know, old man yelling at clouds kind of thing.
So yeah, on the WR, there's just no way that you could do the same sort of things. There's just no way.
No, and I think one of the crazy things that we're gonna see is when you cut back to back between your experience getting back here and mine, just what I had to go through to get around, and that just disappears on this thing.
Yeah.
Because literally, it's quiet. Everybody's going to be like, oh, it's some sort of electric bicycle, but it's plated, man.
Yeah.
So I see the point, but I think it's just like, it's literally not a thing about fun. There's no soul. It's literally just to get you from point A to point B efficiently,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think in the super low speed stuff, you could make the case that it, you know, it's kind of like a fun little tool around kind of thing, but it is quite utilitarian, not only in its appearance, but also in its execution. And I think it was very illuminating when we went back to back with a real motorcycle in the WR, just how different it is from a normal motorcycle, right?
Yeah, and you can really feel where they tried to ape a motorcycle, but they executed it badly.
Yeah.
The ergonomics, really weird on this thing.
Really weird.
If you sit like a normal motorcycle, this rear end squats so hard that you literally have to sit forward and then your feet are behind you on the pegs.
Yeah.
And they cut corners for a $14,000 piece of equipment in some really strange places.
The headlight?
The headlight, the kickstand, the brakes, literally just being a light switch.
Yeah.
I don't get the point. I mean, you could just, I don't know, Fred Flintstone it and stop more effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the regen braking, that was another issue we found, in that it stops you so much, but it doesn't turn on the brake light, and so you end up with a situation that could be kind of dangerous for motorcyclists, because you're not flashing your brake, but you're actually slowing down quite a bit, and this thing does get up to, you know, bop around the kind of outskirts of a city speeds, 45, 50 miles an hour.
You could get this up to 50 miles an hour, no problem.
Sounds like a death trap, but you could.
Oh man, just I was getting some speed wobbles at like 45, and I was like, no, roll off.
Yeah. You know, I think it's very cool that we are trying new things in motorcycling, and the e-bike world is kind of blurring with motorcycles, right? This thing doesn't have pedals, so it's not really an e-bike. It's super expensive and kind of peculiar, but I mean, it remains to be seen where these things are going to go in the future. But I think for now, if you do want to bop around bike in the city, I don't think this is a great option. I think you should just get a scooter or something instead. What do you think?
It's hard to make a case for this because you can't pedal at home. If you run out of power, you're screwed. You're pushing it. So I see like a little two-stroke bicycle kit that costs $100 and a $500 bike off of Craigslist. You don't even need to get a nice one.
Yeah.
Just get like a $100 beater bike, pop your $100 engine in there, and be done.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be just as fast as this in the city.
People will say you have a liquor cycle and make fun of you, but it'll work, you know? And it costs, what's the math on that? Like 1/50th the price or something like that? Like maybe. So you get 50 of those liquor cycles for one of these.
Yep.
Yeah, peculiar little bike, but we here at Yami Noob are committed to trying all the bikes and seeing what they do and how they perform. Thanks again for Twisted Road. We used them to rent this motorcycle for the day, or for the hour rather. We didn't get to use it for the whole day because it doesn't have enough battery. So hit the link down below, check out what bikes they've got in your area, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you later. I tell you what, there's another Yami Noob video right over here waiting for you. It's Yosemite Yam, back at it again, upgraded from Cowboy Yam by popular demand. Tell you what, click on this video right over here. Gonna get you cowboying, hooting and hollering, having all kinds of fun, cutting up with your buddies out there watching another Yami Noob video. Woo-wee!